But what would you say has been fundamentally different between studying as an undergrad, then working, and doing honours right now?
The biggest difference is studying, money goes out. Working, money comes in.
So initially I thought, okay, I'm gonna hit UCT, UJ, UP, UFS, Wits, and I'm gonna hit them all. One of my bosses actually told me, I won't name the university, but if you were to apply to that university, would you actually want to go there? And I sat down and I'm like, actually, no, I wouldn't want to go there. What am I doing?
I took my old projects, all my hand-drawn stuff from first year, I put it as is because that was part of my journey. I was proud of it. But my third year and second year projects in Revit, I basically took the knowledge that I had learned in my year out, slightly improved, spent a day or two on each of those projects and just put them together in a better graphic presentation.
And you did get over 65% for design and...
No. After my interview, I'm like, I remember I called my mom. I don't think I went in here.
Like I couldn't use automatic entry. So I did my undergrad at UCT. So that automatic entry had expired. And each university has different processes, but Wits is
Okay,
been recording for like 3 days. Hasn't been turned on.
Yeah, but how are you feeling about talking?
Yeah, no, I'm all good.
We all
Doing this now,
Yeah.
and then I'm speaking to you guys tomorrow again. So,
You one of them.
Oh, you guys
Yeah.
have a talk tomorrow for design.
For people who were saying that's what
yeah, for us year out people, in my case, 5 years out.
5 years?
Yeah.
Damn.
Like I said, I'm old, bro. I'm 29. Compared to the rest of those honor students, I am ancient.
So why did you decide to come back?
I was so tired of being the bottom of the totem pole. You know, it's the worst when you sit there and you know you're good at design, but then you're doing the work for other people. You know, like your principal or your head of department gives you like a sketch or something, or gives you a Revit model to work on, and you're like, this is the worst thing I've ever touched in my life, but you can't do anything to it because it's their design. You're just the bottom of the pile.
So they give you more responsibilities when you have a degree?
Yeah, look, you go from being a technologist to being an architect. So it depends on the office, it's always different. But ultimately, if you're a technologist, your whole role essentially, unless you're very lucky, I got lucky a few times, is just to do the grunt work, to make the models, put out the drawings, while the architect does all the meetings and makes the plan, and you just kind of follow their lead, and I was just tired of it. Tired of doing their work for them.
But what would you say has been fundamentally different between studying as an undergrad, then working, and doing honours right now?
Well, the biggest difference is studying, money goes out. Working, money comes in. But undergrad, I think you go out with this idea, or you start with this idea of naivety. You don't know anything, and you get taught in a certain way, and you become this wide-eyed person. Like there's so much opportunity, and you get to the end of your studies, like third year, and you think, maybe you've done really well, and you think, I got this. I'm the greatest designer since, whoever you think is the greatest designer. You're like the next architect when you're not. You know less than nothing. And then you get into practice and you go in with this intention, like, I'm going to design, the next skyscraper. And then you get put in to do the most menial jobs, like do a bathroom layout or something silly, or sit in the back of a meeting and take minutes. You don't even get to ask questions, you just write. And then you come back, and then I think for some though, like for me, fortunately having so much time out of studies, I got to experience a lot. So I did a lot of different projects and different kinds of work. That whole time I wasn't even always in architecture. I worked in other industries as well. And so I got to learn new ways to think and see that the world of architecture is so much bigger than we realize. And so coming back, I'm not I'm not with that same mindset of like, oh, I'm this magician. It's like I'm very strategic in what I do now because I know where I want to end up, rather than just like, oh, I can design. And that's the other thing as well. There's so many students. You get two kinds of students really. You get those that are here to get the degree, and then you get the truly passionate ones. The ones that like eat, drink, sleep architecture. I'm one of the truly passionate ones. Like I'm the kind of guy that has like piles of architecture books, that is watching, while other people are watching like Grey's Anatomy, I'm watching like how they built a bridge or how they built a skyscraper. That's just what I do.
I would say the main thing for me is how my confidence, I guess, has developed over time. In undergrad, there was this thing of the lecturers, whatever feedback they give is always right, and that was the mentality. And then learning and going to your year out, learning from these people, having them letting you explore, give your own ideas, you start to learn that there is not one right, not wrong. And then coming to honours, I think that's when that begins to apply. So it's that level of knowing, I know what I'm doing, I've been here long enough that I actually can make these decisions for myself, and these people are here to guide you, not tell you what to do and what not to do.
I think the fundamental difference is, I think the big one is age. I don't think you experience life the same every year, especially because you're older, you get to meet new people, people leave your life. You live and breathe architecture, unfortunately, when you study and work in the space. So that's kind of like the fundamental differences, is that in undergrad, there's a circle of people that I was with who were helping me through the years. When I went to work, my colleagues then became another part of a family, or an extended part of my, close circle. And then I came back, and the majority of the people that I completed my studies with, or rather the friends that I had that we completed together undergrad, weren't there anymore. So then it was creating kind of new relationships with the people that I'm studying with now in my master's, because it's so different. Like me last year is not me now. Me in third year, and comparing like 20-year-old me in third year and 23-year-old me now in master's, so completely different people, especially because life experiences also mold you at the same time as studying and working. So especially like, even if I compare like first year me, like 19-year-old me, fresh out of high school, ready to tackle on Archie and Wits, such glassy-eyed. I'm thinking, I'm just like, wow, like I knew nothing. I knew nothing. And now I'm doing my master's, and I'm just like, I still feel like I know nothing, but like now I'm a bit more comfortable in knowing nothing. If that makes sense. Like when I was 19, first year, I was very scared in my not knowing nothing. And then now I'm like, I'm very comfortable in my not knowing nothing. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Especially because I think with architecture, it's such an ongoing process of learning, not just about the field and what it involves, but learning about yourself. This degree really does shape who you are, your thinking, your mind, your personality, the people that you surround yourself with, especially because we spend so much time with one another. We don't see any other person but ourselves. That age thing is such a fundamental difference between the three different eras.
So you already touched in about what you did on your year out. What would you say you've taken from working into honours?
I think one is a drive to really do this well, but also to experiment and to really learn, because it is so different from doing academic projects and working. Now, if you're working, you've got budgets, you've got deadlines. They don't care about the process. It's just the client wants the job done as cheaply as possible, generally. Whereas in school, you can kind of dream a bit and follow a poetic process. And so what I've kind of tried to do is adapt it a bit more, so that I'm more strategic in what I do and focus on getting my own outcomes out. So experimenting a lot more and trying to find out things and learn specific things that no one's going to teach me. So if there's a specific thing, like for instance, even going into masters for next year, I've already set out what I want to focus in, and that's schools, public schools specifically. And so I've already trying to tailor even the work I do now to bring in some of those ideas and do some of that learning now, so that I can propel my career forward into more the public sector projects and bigger projects than houses and things like that. So I think that's the big thing, is using all these steps to drive me in a direction.
So you felt a bit lost in like undergrad?
I think initially, yes. Towards the end, I started kind of developing this. I think, so I started with being more directional in what I did about halfway through my undergrad. But I started like everyone else, thinking I know so much and having preconceived ideas. But eventually that breaks. And I think everyone, whether you're a student, hopefully when you're a student, but even some professionals, at some point they need to break their preconceived idea of architecture. And everyone will get to that point. For some, like me, it was very, very early on. In my first year, it kind of broke, and I reconsidered what architecture is. Some people, even in honours, even in masters, have this notion of what is architecture, and they haven't really explored that idea further.
What did you do during your year out? Like, what sort of work did you do?
So I like to say that I think I had the widest range of tasks. We started off very small, very guided. We had little workshops teaching us how to mark up working drawings, find mistakes, and slowly transitioned into making, modeling small components in Revit, eventually going to site visits, taking notes. From those site visits, transitioning into attending site visits on our own, or meetings with clients, meeting with contractors, well, very small things, but kind of building up to eventually, I was lucky enough to work on one or two very, very small projects on my own, obviously with the guidance of my supervisor. But yeah, and I guess lots of wide experience, graphic presentations to rendering to modeling the tiniest details to sitting emails all day, but really just anything and everything you could think of.
Then what would you say that you've learned in the professional world that you're able to bring to honours?
I think the most important thing is, sorry, I'm just trying to think of how to say it. I would say, I don't know if this is the right word, but being realistic. Obviously, when you're in undergrad, you're designing these big, beautiful buildings with these amazing things. And yes, there's the construction aspect of, reducing it to be technically resolvable. But having been in the real world, I think understanding who you're designing for, budget-wise, client-wise. And then another thing on that note would be, especially when it comes to construction, is the importance of everything you're doing. Like every line you draw means something. Every note you do write or don't write means something. So in class or university, if you leave something out, it's not a big deal. But in real life, you leave out a note and it's lots of angry phone calls. So I think just learning that importance is pretty,
So I worked, I think with Archi, if you kind of know how small, medium and large works. Small is like 1, 2, 3 people in the office. Medium is like, 5, 10, 15. Large is like the mega, your Bogetman, so forth. So I worked for like a very medium, I say between medium, small and medium. A company in Johannesburg. We worked on commercial projects mostly. In the very beginning, as I said, fresh out of the degree, I didn't know much. Not say that I didn't know much, but I only knew what was taught. I didn't know what will be learned in the actual practice of it. And I think a lot of my responsibilities came and maybe after about 2-3 months of working there. But obviously that's because of probation. So like the first 2-3 months, it was a thing of like getting me familiar with how they work their programs, because every company works programming so differently, the projects that they're involved with. But if there's something that I'm really, really grateful for, is that the company that I was working with made sure that their interns, I mean, everyone on every level was involved in their projects, from like conceptual design aspects up until site visits. So they made sure that like if you hadn't, or like I hadn't been to a site visit, she needs to get onto site like ASAP. They also did this thing where all the interns had to at least attend, I think, 1 or 2 FIFA breakfasts with one of the bosses. So that was the thing, is like you're not ending the year without attending a FIFA breakfast. So they really do try and make sure that you are actively learning. You're not just sitting behind a laptop and just click-clacking. But I think I was just also very lucky in the company that I went to go work for. Like people like saying, if the company says, we feel like a family, red flag. But they really do feel like family. Like it was very much an open door office, or an open door policy working there. Like if you had any questions about the industry, questions about the field, you could go and ask them anything and everything. So I was like not involved, but the design, there were projects that I wasn't on the team officially design-wise, but everyone in the office was involved, where you had input or you had experience in kind of conceptualizing a design or conceptualizing ideas and concepts. The construction of it as well, detailing, the technologically, the construction drawings. I think in every stage or aspect of architecture and the practice of it, they tried to really involve me in everything, not just me myself, but like the other interns that were there with me and everyone else in the office. So it was a very holistic approach to internship, not just designing toilets. Yeah.
I hope you found this video helpful. So please click on the video on the right if you want to see part 2 of the series, where we'll be showing you the portfolios that people submitted for their honors application.